Recently, there has been a lot of cases of people losing all of their net worth in crypto due to centralized trusted entities pulling the plug on them and not giving them any heads up. In today's video, I want to go over how I'm personally taking action to avoid losing all of my money inside of Cardano and cryptocurrency in general, and also in general just avoiding centralized entities and bankruptcy cases altogether. I'll be honest, the game plan, it's not that hard, but I want to talk a bit more in depth on the bankruptcy of these companies and how these things happen, or how they did happen in this case, and how maybe you could foresee some of these events in the future and avoid getting caught in the pitfall of the bankruptcies of these companies and losing all of your money and having them locked up in these centralized entities. First things first, centralized entities. If you have your crypto in a centralized entity, it is likely always going to be at some risk one way or another, whether it's through legal means or whether it's through the company's risk of being insolvent. And the only way to get around that really is to have your own crypto and put it somewhere like a hardware wallet. Hardware wallets are a lot better than hot wallets that you just have on paper. Please get a hardware wallet. It is going to make your life a lot easier and a lot more secure. There's a link down in the description. It is an affiliate link, but you don't have to use the affiliate link if you don't want to. Ledger, Trezor, any of these hardware wallets, buy them from the sites directly and don't buy them off Amazon. Now, speaking more on bankruptcies and what's going on here. Well, there's a lot going on. First of all, there has been a cascading effect coming from the Terra Luna event, where 40 billion of investors' money was lost inside of this crash. And also inside of this crash, one of their main investors, Three Arrows Capital, or 3AC, also had to declare bankruptcy from $10 billion in assets. And then after the Terra Luna crash, to pretty much bankruptcy and owing a lot of people a lot of money. And also, cascading into this, Voyager was, working with Three Arrows Capital. So Voyager also goes down the drain because their loans were with Three Arrows Capital. Three Arrows Capital can't pay them back. Voyager goes. All the customers of Voyager, over 100,000 creditors, owing $1.3 billion to. That is a lot of money. And so retail gets wrecked here. Kind of hard to avoid getting wrecked here. If you're gambling with a lot of cryptos are risky, but even if you owned your own crypto here, likely you are going to get wrecked if you had Luna or Terra or UST, the stablecoin, which is very unfortunate. But you have to keep in mind, the more centralized something is, the more likely it is to fail. At least, especially in crypto, that's how I see it in a lot of ways. To avoid something like Terra Luna, you would just simply not have to have invested into it. And obviously, no one wants to hear that. It doesn't help anyone who lost money in this event. And it's not going to help anyone in the future to say, just don't invest in that thing that's going to crash, certainly, because we don't really know. But when it comes to Voyager and Celsius, these are things that even people investing in them didn't really think they would ever lose their money. They were FDIC insured, or they were, just very trusted protocols. And in a lot of cases, they were operated and under the bankruptcy terms, operated very unfairly to the investors, and definitely not with the investors' best interests at heart. And keep in mind, Voyager and Celsius have a lot of users. A lot of time was going into them, and a lot of people were coming and going from these two applications that were meant to be so trustless in crypto. But when things are centralized, they do have that massive point of failure that ultimately, if someone's not profiting or things go under and someone's at fault, and especially if they're incorporated, they're going to file for bankruptcy. The creditors or the investors will not come out on top in pretty much most of these scenarios. And even then, maybe you won't even get your money unlocked ever. So to avoid this, the best way, as I said earlier, is likely going to be just putting in a hardware wallet. And if you're on Cardano, you can stake your ADA with the Jack stake pool or doing whatever else, keeping it on a hardware wallet though, and not lending it out to centralized entities. Of course, there also is going to be things like DeFi applications that you can lend your ADA out to, or put it in a smart contract rather, not really lending it to anyone specifically. But also keep in mind, in the early days, smart contracts may have faults, and you should be careful who you are trusting in their smart contract capabilities on Cardano when you're putting into them. Don't just go blindly put your Cardano into something because it's a smart contract and it's not controlled by anyone, because someone had to write it, someone can exploit it, and you still need to be careful even in those scenarios. That's pretty much it for today's video. Keep in mind that you need to be safe when you're in crypto. Even though we are in a risky area, there's no sense in making it completely, inherently more risky than it already is. So be careful, take your time when you're doing things, and please, please, please hold on to your own crypto. I know it is enticing a lot of the time to go put in a centralized entity that's offering some ridiculous yield, but a lot of the times these things are not sustainable, especially in the case of Anchor Protocol. 20% yields, everyone thought they were geniuses yielding there, and then also now Voyager with their stablecoin yields, and everyone who had their stablecoins in those centralized entities not going so hot. They're out of commission, their funds are all gone, and they're not getting them back, which is not fun for anyone. So be safe, stay safe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. It's been your friend Jack. Peace out.